Nature has only one absolute rule: death. Everything that breathes eventually withers and fades. This cycle has remained unbroken for 3.5 billion years, from the first cells to us. We believed mortality was inevitable. Then, we looked closer. Hidden within our biosphere are creatures that found a back door to the most fundamental laws of biology. Some can literally rise from the grave. Others simply refuse to grow old. They thrive where everything else perishes. These are 5 stories of survivors that looked into the void and said, "Not today." First is a biological miracle scientists call the immortal jellyfish. Its name is Turritopsis dohrnii. It is a tiny ghost, no larger than a fingernail, drifting through the world's warm currents. You would never notice it in the surf. Yet inside this transparent frame, the rules of existence are being rewritten. To understand the mystery, look at the standard life of a jellyfish. They follow 2 distinct stages. First, the polyp, a plant-like anchor on the seafloor. Then it buds, releasing the medusa into the open ocean. The adult form hunts, mates, and eventually dies. That is the script. Birth, maturity, then oblivion. Turritopsis dohrnii follows this path right until the clock is supposed to stop. Under stress or age, it strikes. Instead of dying, it does the impossible. It reverses, the body shrinks, the tentacles vanish, and it sinks. Its very essence is reprogrammed. Days later, a fresh polyp emerges. Imagine an old man simply turning back into an infant. This biological reset is a process known as transdifferentiation. Specialized cells, muscle, nerve, and gut, suddenly forget their identity. They revert to stem cells, building a brand new body from the old. This shatters every biological dogma we hold. We once believed cell specialization was a one-way street, that a nerve could never become a seed. This creature proved us wrong. It literally rewinds its internal clock at the cellular level. Theoretically, this loop is eternal. Medusa to polyp, polyp to medusa. Forever. Predators still kill them. Disease still strikes. But time? Time has no power over them. They have mastered the reset button. No other creature on Earth possesses a gift quite like this. Calling it immortal is not hyperbole. It is the only known animal to have truly conquered aging. Geneticists in Spain and Japan mapped its genome. They found unique mutations hidden within its code. These genes protect telomeres and manage DNA repair, the very things that fail as humans grow old. Their cells divide without losing vital data, allowing for an infinite biological upgrade. This discovery sent shockwaves through the medical world. The implications are staggering. If we unlock this mechanism, we might treat the untreatable. Cancer, dementia, the decay of the human heart. But there is a darker, more cinematic side to this tiny creature's story. This ability has fueled a silent global conquest. What began in the Mediterranean has now reached every ocean. They are everywhere. Japan, Panama, Florida. Carried in the ballast tanks of massive ships. In every port, they drop anchor and start anew. Experts call it the silent invasion. They are filling the warm seas and they are unstoppable. The perfect colonizer that never grows old. In 100 years, this might be the most common survivor on our planet. Next, meet its polar opposite. While the jellyfish rewinds time, our next subject simply ignores it. The naked mole rat, Heterocephalus glaber. It is likely the most hideous mammal to ever exist. Picture a pink, wrinkled sausage with beady eyes and massive teeth protruding from its face. They dwell in the dark tunnels of East Africa, eating roots. They look insignificant, yet they are legends. A normal mouse lives 2 or 3 years. This creature lives 37. That is 12 times the expected lifespan for its size. For a human, that would be 800 years. But the duration is not the mystery. The mystery is that they do not age at all. Their risk of death does not increase with time. They defy the fundamental statistical law of aging. In humans and whales, the chance of dying grows every year. It is an exponential curve. The older you are, the more likely the end is near. But for the mole rat, the curve is flat. A 30-year-old rat is as healthy as a 5-year-old. They live until something external finally stops them. Nature's strangest survivor, the naked mole rat, is virtually immune to cancer. Decades of laboratory study prove that documented cases of malignancy remain almost non-existent. Most lab mice succumb to tumors by default. But this creature possesses a biological shield, a unique protein. High molecular weight hyaluronan floods the spaces between its cells, acting as a gatekeeper. Imagine every cell equipped with a master kill switch for growth. This prevents any cell from turning rogue. When scientists stripped this protein away, the mole rat's legendary defenses crumbled, and tumors finally took hold. This proved hyaluronan is the ultimate guardian. But there is more. These creatures can survive 18 minutes without a single breath of oxygen. For any other mammal, that is a death sentence. Human brain cells perish after just 4 or 5 minutes of suffocation. The mole rat survives by hijacking its chemistry, ditching oxygen for an emergency system that burns fructose, just like a plant. It is the only mammal known for this botanical feat. Yet its strangest secret is social. They live like insects, a hive mind. Only one queen breeds, while dozens of sterile workers tunnel, forage, and die for the colony. This peace is an illusion. When a queen falls, a brutal war for the throne erupts among females, often ending in death. The victor undergoes a radical metamorphosis. Her spine literally stretches to carry more young. Her very skeleton warps. Her hormones rewrite her biology. Science suspects this rigid social order is the hidden engine behind their defiance of aging. With only one breeder, evolution gambles everything on her longevity. Natural selection works overtime to purge the genes of decay. In suffocating underground tunnels, survival is a game of chemical brinksmanship. For us, it is proof of something profound. Mammals harbor dormant biochemical superpowers, ancient codes waiting to be cracked. Meet the third contender, perhaps the most alien life form on Earth, the tardigrade, or the water bear, a microscopic beast, less than 1 millimeter long, resembling a plump 8-legged tank. It is everywhere, from the abyss to your backyard. It does not stop aging like the mole rat. It does something far more terrifying. It survives the impossible. Conditions that would vaporize, freeze, or crush any other living thing are mere inconveniences here. Consider its resume. Temperatures ranging from minus 272 degrees Celsius, nearly absolute zero, to 150. It withstands pressure 6,000 times greater than the atmosphere. It survives radiation doses 1,000 times lethal to humans. It breathes the void of space. No water for decades. In 2007, they became the first animals to survive the cosmic vacuum. Exposed to raw solar rays on a satellite, they were brought back to Earth. They woke up, hungry and ready to reproduce. How? The answer is cryptobiosis, a state of suspended animation. When life becomes unbearable, the bear retreats. It pulls in its legs, shrivels into a dry husk called a tune, and expels almost all internal water. Moisture drops to less than 3%. Metabolism flatlines to zero. The tardigrade is neither alive nor dead. It exists in a biological purgatory, a ghost in the machine that can wait for centuries. But add one thing, a single drop of water. Within minutes, the ghost reanimates, walking away as if the last century was a dream. In 2019, this creature became a lunar colonist. The Israeli Bereshit probe slammed into the moon. Inside were thousands of dehydrated tardigrades. Did they survive the impact? Most experts say, absolutely. Their tune state survives massive kinetic force and the lunar vacuum. This means something chilling. Right now, scattered across the lunar dust, thousands of living organisms are waiting. They are paralyzed, craving the one thing the moon lacks: water. They will sleep forever unless a human hand brings them home. A terrestrial animal, shipwrecked on another world. Geneticists cracked their code and found DSUP, the damage suppressor protein. It is unique in the tree of life. It shields DNA from being shredded by radiation. Scientists spliced this gene into human cell cultures with staggering results. Our cells became 40% more resistant to X-rays. 40%. That is a monumental leap for medicine. If humanity ever touches Mars, our survival might depend on a half-millimeter creature from a mossy pond. Finally, consider the wood frog of North America. Every winter, it performs a miracle that defies modern medicine. It does not hide. It freezes. Solid. Up to 65% of its body water turns into jagged ice. The heart stops. Blood flow ceases. Breathing ends. Brain activity vanishes. Clinically, the frog is a corpse. It lies beneath the leaves, hard as a stone. If you found it in the woods, you would swear it was dead. For all intents and purposes, it is dead. By every metric of vertebrate life, it has passed away. Then, spring arrives. A thaw begins. A single heartbeat thumps. Slushy blood begins to churn through its veins once more. Within hours of resurrecting, it leaps into the nearest pond. It spent months as a statue and simply walked it off. This is no myth. This is documented biological reality. The boundary between life and death is thinner than we imagine. The wood frog's survival hinges on two impossible biological shifts. As temperatures plummet, its liver floods the bloodstream with massive sugar spikes. This concentration would trigger a lethal diabetic coma in any other vertebrate. For this frog, glucose is a shield. It prevents ice from shredding internal cell membranes into glass. Ice crystallizes only in the gaps between cells. The cells shrivel, dehydrate, yet remain perfectly intact. Enter the second weapon, specialized nucleator proteins. They dictate a slow, uniform chill, avoiding jagged, lethal shards. To surgeons, this frog is a blueprint for organ preservation. Transplant medicine's greatest enemy is time. Hearts expire in 6 hours. Kidneys barely last 36. Mastering the frog's secret, freezing tissue without damage, would shatter every limit of modern medicine. This would save thousands who vanish from waiting lists because the clock ran out too fast. A frozen hitchhiker in a Canadian forest might save millions. Now, meet the final wonder, the Greenland shark. The planet's oldest vertebrate, a ghost that forces us to redefine the very concept of time. In 2016, scientists analyzed the eyes of these titans using radiocarbon dating techniques. They probed the ocular lens, the only tissue frozen in time since the moment of birth. The data was chilling. One female, over 5 meters long, was approximately 392 years old. Give or take a century, she is at least 270. She was born in the 1620s. Galileo saw the stars. The Mayflower sailed. And Shakespeare was barely cold. She is still hunting today. She drifts through 2-mile depths at 0 degrees. Her world moves at 1 kilometer per hour, the slowest shark on Earth. She grows 1 centimeter annually and reaches maturity at 150. Imagine that. 150 years just to grow up, while human empires rise and fall. There is something haunting about a life spanning centuries. A silent witness in the freezing dark. A shark born in the 1400s has watched our entire modern history from the abyss. When she was a pup, gravity was an unnamed mystery. Newton hadn't even been born yet. A team during the American Revolution. Mature when the Titanic sank. She has seen it all. She was there for the first moon landing. She is there now, a rhythmic heartbeat beneath the ice. She carries chemical enigmas we are only beginning to decode. And most of them are blind. Parasites latch onto their eyes, eating away their vision. The shark simply doesn't care. Sight is useless in the blackness. She hunts by scent and the electric hum of beating hearts. Blind. Glacial. A creature from a sunless world that is effectively immortal. No shark ever caught showed signs of age. Hearts, livers, and brains function perfectly across centuries. The secret? The Arctic chill. It drags her metabolism down to a near halt. Every reaction slows. DNA damage pauses. Aging is a clock that simply refuses to tick. Her muscles are saturated with stabilizing compounds, armor against pressure and the rot of time. These chemicals shield her cells from decay. But the full truth remains hidden in the deep. 400 years exceeds even the slowest metabolism. There is something else. Something missing. An unknown force sustains her across eras. 5 creatures. 5 ways to rewrite the laws of death. Jellyfish reversing time. Rats defying age. Tardigrades surviving the vacuum. Frogs rising from ice. These are living proof that death is not the absolute rule we once believed. Nature found back doors to eternity. Each one opens a door for science we didn't know existed. Radiation-proof proteins. Cancer-blocking acids. Glucose antifreeze for the dying. Clocks reset by jellyfish genes. Lifespans stretched by the shark. This is peer-reviewed reality. Validated. Published. Proven. Yet the most shocking part isn't their existence. It is how long they hid in plain sight. We saw the immortal jellyfish in 1883. We studied the mole rat for decades before realizing it ignores the laws of aging entirely. We knew the tardigrade in the 1700s, but only cracked its code in 2015. These outlaws lived beneath our feet for eons. How many more are quietly breaking the laws of life? How many entities dwell in the shadows, waiting? What loopholes lie buried within the world's most mundane life forms? We remain blind. One fact is certain. Death is not absolute. Not for the jellyfish, the mole rat, or the microscopic water bear sleeping in your garden. It is ready to outlast your children, your legacy, perhaps our entire civilization. Nature spent 3.5 billion years testing the limits of mortality. 5 anomalies unmasked. The rest remain classified by time. And the greatest biological secrets? They are still out there, hidden, waiting to be found.